to my castle lesson. I am drawing outside today. Hope everyone is doing well. This is an example that I made of my castle, and I look forward to teaching you some cool tricks that I thought was really fun when I was drawing. So some things that I think are important when you draw a castle is thinking about the location. So where is your castle? Is it in Ireland or in Europe somewhere? So it might be old. Is it crumbly? Is it made of cobblestone? Are there tall towers where people used to look out? Are there stairways that climb up and up? What about the door? Is your door open? Can people peek inside? Or is it closed? And those kinds of things, even like flags or little rooftops, those are really going to help people see what the purpose of your castle is. Is it just to be huge and overlook from the mountainside? Or was it to protect land? So are there people in the windows? Oh look, there's a little bug that's bound to happen. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna start with is my door. And I'm gonna leave a little bit of room between my pencil and the bottom of the paper. Kind of starting at the center. Think about the size of your door. I'm gonna try to make mine a little smaller this time so I have more room for towers. So I'm just gonna start with that and not add detail yet because I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do for it. Then you're just gonna draw two little lines coming out from the bottom. This is gonna set you up for the towers. So that's what I'm gonna draw next. Now I'm gonna make a line that has a little bit of a diagonal going that way on both sides. And if you need to erase this and try a couple times, that is completely fine, because then you're gonna start a little skinnier at the top and do another diagonal facing the opposite direction. This is going to make an illusion that your castle is three-dimensional, because as things get higher and away from us, they look smaller. So then I'm just gonna add a little curvy upside down rainbow to the bottom. So they're like two open pizza slices. Then if you want, you can make two more upside down rainbows, kind of like a trophy. And then go ahead and close off those shapes with these types of lines. Let me zoom in, kind of show you. So it's over, up, over, down, over, up, over, down. And if for some reason, like mine, it doesn't quite fit, you can just come back and erase that line. So I have 4 of them, so I'm going to try to do that on this side. Up, over, down, over, up, over, down, over, up, over, down. I'm going to add one more, over, up, over. And I don't have an eraser, so I'll just fix it later. Okay. So after that, I'm going to start having fun with towers. So since we're comfortable with this castle line, I'm gonna make another one connecting the towers. I'm gonna move a little quicker, kind of like that. That way I have space between the front of my castle, and now I can start adding parts that are farther away, because my castle is huge. I don't know about you guys. So I made a cylinder, just a curvy line, and then I'm going to add a cone on top. So a lot of this is just shapes: cylinders, cones, trapezoids, rectangles. And then I can add 2 more above my other towers. So 2 vertical lines. cylinder on top. If you make yours shorter than mine, you'll have room for a flag. So you might want to do that. 2 vertical lines, cylinder on top. Okay, so this is a good like base for my castle. Now some fun things that I learned how to add before I get into windows are like winding staircases on the sides. So to do that, I'm going to start next to one of my towers and just make another doorway, but a little bit smaller. And it can overlap a little bit like that. And then make a flat line on the bottom. Go ahead and add another smaller one inside to create more of a 3D shape. And then what you do is you just take your pencil and you go at the top and you make this curved line that bends towards the top of the tower. And then you do the same thing on the bottom, curve towards the tower, and just kind of meet it right about there. And then I made some lines in here. They are bigger as they're closer to us, and as I start to get farther away and climb up and up, this is a good trick to draw stairs. You can kind of make them closer together. It creates that illusion that my tower is so tall. And I just left this blank because that's like the side of it. But what I did to make it look more realistic is see how this line could continue in here? I added that curvy line. And then made some cobblestones along the doorway. I'm thinking about like in Ireland, my castle is in the mountains. And you might need to erase a little bit. Like I don't like how these are overlapping, but I don't have an eraser, so I can come back. Okay, so that's kind of how you can make like a winding stairway. If you want, you can even do another one without a doorway on this side. So start. Okay, so we are on the stairway of the other side. So I extended the bottom line of my castle, and then I am gonna try to do a straight curve. Does that make sense? All the way up to the top of the tower. Just like on the other side, it can be a little bit shorter to make it more interesting. And then again, the lines at the bottom should be farther apart. I'm not using a ruler because my castle's older. It's had some weathering, so I'm going with it. But as you get like closer to the top again, if you make them skinnier and closer together, this is a good trick that you can use when you draw houses too. What happens is it creates that illusion that you're getting higher and higher and higher up. And then over here, when you're coloring, you might just want to color that in a little bit darker so that it looks like it's shaded. Just because it's the side of the staircase. I didn't do this on the other one because I don't have a doorway, but this kind of makes this like tunnel where it looks like you can kind of go in or you can take the stairs. Okay, so now I am gonna start getting into details. So you can do things like make your door open. Let's see if I can do another trick. If I make a diagonal line at the bottom of my door and leave just a tiny opening, you can kind of like peek in. And then I can make a straight line for the floor, make a little doorknob. It creates this mystery, like, why is the door open? Who's in there? And you can draw a little scene in there or whatever you want. If you want to add some lines, like this is one of those big wooden doors, you could do that. Now I'm just gonna start going around my castle and adding fun things that help me make it look more realistic. So this is kind of up to you to be the artist. I think it needs some windows. What do you guys think? So like more of these rainbow shapes. And you can get as detailed as you want or keep it simple. You can make a castle just by drawing the door and the two towers. Add a little tower behind and you've got it. I could draw all day and spend time on this. That's where it just becomes so fun for me. Maybe draw some diagonal lines on the towers. That looks cool. And the last thing that I'm gonna do before I color is add some bricks to kind of go with that cobblestone effect. So maybe throughout here, I'm not gonna draw a whole bunch, just a few is all you need for that illusion that is made out of bricks. Sometimes less is more. Adding details doesn't necessarily mean to the entire thing. Sometimes your eye needs a little bit of a break. It needs a place to go. So for me, my visitors start at the doorway and they go inside and they explore. Maybe just a couple more, something like that. Maybe there's someone inside your window. All right, so that's my castle. I can think about the background too, if there's some mountains or hills behind or clouds, or I can leave it just like this. So I'm gonna add some color and then I will be done. Thanks, guys.